Tonight we have the final 6 cards of Legacy of Destruction, so let's take a look at them. And honestly, some of them are pretty good. And of course, we do have a couple meme cards. So let's take a look at them and let's see what they do. Now, first off, we have a brand new plant monster being Keyclose, the Circular Fairy. It's a wind plant tuner effect, level 4, 1000 attack, and 1800 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. And if this card is normal or special summoned, you can discard 1 card. Add 1 plant or insect tuner monster from your deck to your hand except Keyclose, the Circular Fairy. If an insect or plant synchro monsters is special summoned while this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Very, very strong card for plant and insect decks, giving them a card that can search any of the tuners for the 2 types, on top of the fact that it just summons itself back if an insect and or plant synchro monster is special summoned. This card pairs well with I think it's Diabolic Mantis, and along with Circle of the Fairies, which is the level 7 synchro monster that we got a few sets ago. So honestly, seeing another card added to those entire group of cards is pretty nice, and I cannot wait to test it out in those type of decks. So from plants to even dinosaurs to spells and traps and an Exceed monster, let's take a look at this next card. It is Dino Vader Dox. It is an Earth Dinosaur effect monster, level 6 with 1500 attack and 2200 defense. You can only special summon Dino Vader Dox once per turn, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. If you control 2 or more dinosaur monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is very good. And you contribute 1 level 4 or lower monster, special summon 1 dinosaur monster from your deck that is 2 level higher or lower than the tributed monster, but destroyed during the end phase. So realistically, if you tribute a baby Ceratosaurus or Pteranodon, you can summon out Soul-Eating Oviraptor or Miscellaneous Saurus. If you tribute Oviraptor or Misk, you can instantly get into a baby Ceratosaurus or Pteranodon, or even another level 6 to Exceed summon into Evilzor Lars, which is super powerful. Or you can summon out a dinosaur tuner if there's any that are level 2, 4, or 6. So realistically, this card is really good for dinosaurs, and I cannot wait to see how people tech this in, because it is instantly, I think, a one of, if you're running the, what are they? The Transcendosaurs, I think. But overall, it's a really good card. So after that interesting dinosaur card, let's take a look at one of the 2 spell cards that we've gotten. And honestly, this is one of the more confusing ones that I've read, which is Where There's a Will, There's a Way Out. It's a field spell card, and you can only use the first effect of this card's effect once per turn. During the main phase, the turn player can excavate cards from the top of their deck up to the number of cards their opponent controls. And if they do, add 1 of them to their hand. Then they place the rest and 1 card from their hand on the bottom of the deck in any order. Once per turn, during the end phase, if the turn player excavates 9 cards or more with this card's effect this turn, they can activate this effect. Shuffle all cards on their opponent's field and graveyard into the deck. So this is kind of like a Pot of Prosperity, but also it's a evenly matched, or actually no, it's a Fiber Jar. It is actually a Fiber Jar if you excavate 9 or more cards. So this card is very powerful, but it can also backfire on you. So realistically, this is one of the cards where you activate, use the effect, and then you destroy it somehow, and then you don't have the second effect that will have to activate if you leave it there for your opponent. So overall, this is a very, very good card, but also very gimmicky with how it is. So I think Kevin Twert and Jerome McHale may have a lot of fun trying to think of a name for this card, because they love alliterations. This one, Organization, the Reddit Cord, and a lot of other people had trouble trying to think of a name. But this is the name that I went through that had 3 suggestions, being 1 by 1 we walk, step by step and day by day follow their lead. or following their lead. It is a haiku. If you guys don't know, it's 575, and they're going to have a lot of fun trying to think of a name for this. And it's a quick play spell card. If cards is sent to the graveyard, except one by one we walk, step by step and day by day, following their lead, banish up to 5 cards from their graveyard face down. Then if you banish face down cards are 7 or more, your opponent banishes as many cards from their graveyard as possible, 5 max their choice. So realistically, it is a haiku in a card form, and I think it's quite cute, and I do love the little bunny that's behind the 2 little characters hiding behind in the bushes. But honestly, this is a fun card, and I can't wait to see the localization name in the TCG when it comes out in April. Now let's look at the final effect monster that we have on this whole entire endeavor. And honestly, it's a very nice callback to Burning Algae. It is Freezing Fire. It's a Fire Pyro effect monster, level 3, 500 attack and 1500 defense. If either player gains life points, you can special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, if either player gains life points while this monster is on the field, you can make either player gain 1000 life points. So this card is very, very cute in its own right, where you can get a free extension off of just gaining life points if you activate something like Upstart Goblin. Overall, it's a nice little card, and honestly, it's a great callback to way back when Burning Algae finally released, and now it's put out after so many years. And finally, we have the last card of Legacy of Destruction. And honestly, it's quite interesting. We have Angry Babby, you can also say Angry Child. It is a Beast Exceed effect, 0 attack and defense, and it has multiple effects. If this card's activation is negated once per chain, you could select up to 1 card from each player's graveyard and attach them to this card as a material. This card gains effects based on the number of materials attached to it. 1+, increase this card's attack and defense by the number of attached materials by 700, so it's base 1400. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. If it has 4+ and 8+, you can attach 4 materials from this card, destroy all cards on the field. Very powerful rank 1, and honestly, I could see this being teched in a couple decks. But overall, Legacy of Destruction has concluded, and I'll see you all tomorrow for Phantom Nightmare reveals on the imports and what is left in the set. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. See you guys in the next video, and goodbye.